wonderful finish in Columbia. Welcome to Fayetteville, Arkansas, inside Bud Walton Arena. 9 minutes gone in this first half. Arkansas out to a hot start. It's a 10-point lead in this Palace for College Hoops with Ron Slay. I think, did you just dodge a couple of T-shirts that's whizzing by your head?
No, Kevin, those were softballs.
Okay.
Softballs being thrown out.
Hey, take it to lead in, man. Take one for the team. All right, let's get back on task here. So, hey, Nick Smith, we saw him. Hey, he is the super talented next level freshman who has missed about 75% of Arkansas's games this year with that right knee injury. Now, we've seen him in the starting lineup now in consecutive games. He is back, so that the reintegration, we're seeing extended minutes for Nick Smith. That reintegration back into the starting lineup, how critical is it now for Arkansas, the final 4 games of the regular season before postseason?
Right, very much so, to get him back acclimated. And as much as it is about Nick Smith, it's about getting his teammates more acclimated to him as well, to know where he likes the ball. He's a scorer, so sometimes you got to get out of the way and let him get his feet wet, and he'll start to figure it out where guys are. But a talent like him, you want to take that next step. The reason they had expectations coming into the season is because guys like Nick Smith.
Boy, I'm curious if you agree. There's the latest basket for Ricky Council. So just in the early minutes here, boy, this Arkansas offense, fluid, good ball movement, little rhythm.
Yeah.
As they've shot, what, 56% from the floor now.
And that's what you want to see, the ball hopping from side to side. Anybody can get an opportunity. Just look for that little gap where you can drive and get to your spot.
Dubious score for Georgia, because this is the score on Saturday before things got really out of hand. It was a really lopsided loss to Alabama on Saturday. Now there's a whistle, 3-second violation, and before Don Daly delivered the call, I think he was letting Eric Musselman know, listen, look, I got it.
Yeah, Coach Musselman will give you a whistle if you want one, but I think we got it. We got 3 of us out here. So
glad that you guys, you all are with us this evening in Fayetteville.
Definitely.
So Arkansas snaps the 2-game skid, the win against a Colin Castleton-less Florida team Saturday. Looked really good and got most of their points inside. That's what we have done early in this game. Although they've been tempted by a couple of threes. Nick Smith now with the second for the Hogs.
And Nick Smith coming out very aggressive. You talk about getting acclimated. He's not bashful. He will let it fly. So really good job for him getting that ball off.
Oh, wow, that's Frank Anselm, who hit the ground hard.
Really good contest right here, going straight up by Mitchell. Looked like he got a lot of ball, but I think coming down, he may have hit his arm, made him knock him off balance. Good job by Georgia taking the ball strong to the hole. This is what Georgia's going to have to do to get back in this. Contested shots are difficult. If you can get them in foul trouble by using your pump fake and getting up in the air and finishing, get to the foul line. You're one of the top 3 teams in the SEC in percentage from free throws. So you got to get there and use that as your advantage.
Yeah, they make about 16 free throws a game, and not even just 3rd in the conference. That's top 30 in the nation, but underscore a point you just brought up. Arkansas on a 15-2 run, largely thanks to that defensive pressure. Boy, Georgia has not had a even slightly clean look.
That's right.
Halfway through this first.
Absolutely, and they won't get a clean look throughout. Because one thing you're talking about revving up for the tourney play, offense is one thing, defense is another. With this length that they have, they want to be able to control teams, and that's how you do it.
Here's Jalen Graham. Totally capitalized on his matchup a couple of days ago. Went for a career-high 26. This is Smith improvising the fade. Offline, Graham got his hand on it. Stays here, last touch by Hill. So a new 20 for Eric Musselman's team.
And that's a really good job defensively right there for Coach White's team. Georgia looking at their compacting in the paint.
How about we're going throwback here. Rewind on a Tuesday.
Hey.
This is his 4th year as the head coach, of course, at Arkansas, Eric, that is. Remember, 2 years as the Golden State Warriors head coach about 20 years ago. Spent 1 year as the head man at Sacramento. Oh, my God. Jalen Graham. Get out of his way.
Oh. And you see Nick Smith hyping up the crowd. He's engaged. I tell you what, woo! That's how you go up and finish, Mr. Graham.
Georgia,
Mr. Graham.
Yeah, Georgia needed that one. Their first field goal in 5 minutes.
I know it's a tough finish. Can't wait to see the replay of that.
He is picking up right where he left off.
That's one thing about him. You ask anybody in their program, what can Jalen Graham do? He can score. So no problem with that.
Expect a little bit of this zone at times today, yeah?
Yes, a lot of it from Georgia.
There's Mitchell. Oh, boy, a turnaround. Mikhail Mitchell just getting better and better. The Washington native, DC that is, transferred in with his twin from URI ahead of the season. More minutes, more touches, more blocked shots of late. Boy, Arkansas by 16. Not too far past the midway mark of the first.
Going it on and staying out there with the heels on the three-point line.
Hill floats it up, bounces out. And another rebound for Mikhail Mitchell. So back to Graham. Got a little bit of the height advantage over Abdur Rahim. Anselm came to help. Right back to him. Mitchell was calling for it. Graham couldn't find it. Now out to Council. Black, hard drive, fouled.
So impressed by Arkansas's patience on offense. It's going to be interesting to see can they keep that up.
16-point lead in the first. SEC Network Men's Basketball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Coverage beyond the expected.
The shots being contested, the length is affecting those shots.
Question is, the task is for Arkansas, can it finish the year strong? It lost those back-to-back games last week. There's Jalen Graham with his latest. He's now 2 of 2 from the floor. But now with Smith knocking a little bit of the rust off, healthier, he's in the starting lineup. You would expect that he's going to play the extended minutes now the rest of the way. Things are looking up. Graham on the other end this time. And just add him into this formula for success. Council turns down another three. Graham, the push shot from the free throw line. Aquindo's got it.
Good job.
Aquindo to the left hand, lays it up, bounces out. It was right there. Just hit the back of the iron. Now Black. Beautiful feed. Oh, showtime. Ricky Council again.
Young man, what did that rim do to you, Council? After this break, we may have to give that rim a little bit of counseling by Ricky Council. It's a meeting up there for this young man. On the run.
Dunk contest a couple of days ago. Where was Ricky Council?
Oh, my gosh. They would have loved to have him in Utah. I promise you that. Anthony Black head up. Council with the run that way. He just decided, you know what? I'll go backwards with this. I'll go backwards with this.
The reaction is better, I think.
If I was a judge,
did he actually do that sort of a look?
I'm reaching, and this is the thing. When you got an athlete like that, he glides up the court. Athletes glide. That's different. Anthony Black pushing the ball. Doesn't look like he's running hard, but Ricky Council feeling doesn't look like he is either. Georgia thought they could get back. Oh, no. Oh, no, it was a meeting at the rim for Mr. Council.
Like the reverse slam, underappreciated. I'm a big fan of the reverse.
Yeah, because you can contort your body to do that and have control and be able to come down. Like, oh, man.
Again, it's becoming a nightly occurrence now for Ricky Council. Yeah, it's just been a really challenging start for Georgia. Aquindo, though, has got one more chance at the line. Good, strong take by the junior from Florida.
And you talk about exciting highlights, Aquindo is one as well. Anytime he can get to that right hand and get to turn the corner, his shoulders get square with yours, Kevin. I'm right now about 265. If his shoulders get square with mine, he's going to bump me out the way, Kevin.
No chance.
No chance at all.
Yeah, it's 6'4", 220 pounds.
You see him, he's leading them in points right now. Aquindo, you're going to need more of that. But you got to get stops, finish with rebounds as well to complete the stop. If you're Georgia, doing a great job. Just got to finish with the rebound.
Yeah, his calves are the size of my head, basically.
Oh, yes, every bit of it.
Physical specimen. There's Smith, leaner. That's good.
Now, that's a different element. That's a different element. When you swing the ball from an athletic guy like Council on the left wing, gets all the way around to the short baseline for Nick Smith.
Another whistle at the rim.
And I guarantee Coach White came out of that huddle and said, Aquindo, put your head down and get to the basket. And that's exactly what you see. Going into guys' chest and finishing, not trying to finish over them, trying to finish through them. That's a great example of that. But he, like we said, he has the body to be able to do that.
You know, Georgia has been maybe a little further ahead defensively this year than offensively, so a lot of the offense is coming at the line. Hey, nice doubleheader tomorrow. Begins right here on the SEC Network with Vanderbilt and LSU, plus you got Ole Miss and Auburn afterward, and then Sunday some women's hoops, Mississippi State and LSU. The 25-1 Tigers, led by Angel Reese.
You see, I love Angel Reese, watching her play a double-double walking. That was a big-time matchup between her and Aaliyah Boston a couple of weeks ago. Really good for the women's game.
Yeah, you would think player of the year, favorite or in the race, of course. Oh, my goodness. Council again. The beneficiary from the black pass. Quindo responds with the triple.
And that's how you neutralize that. Take this crowd right back out of the game. Good job by Georgia responding. Quindo taking it upon his shoulders. Keep this team in. As you see, token pressure, full court, just to get back in the zone, slow them down. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, just a saucy highlight reel in this first half. After the miss, a new 20. Black bounce pass. This is Graham. Quick decision. Yes.
So if I'm Georgia, after 3 or 4 times of that, Jalen Graham going over his left shoulder, getting to his right hand, I think you would like to force him to his right shoulder because he's a different guy going to that right hand.
Tie up stays here with Georgia.
Weak side corner activity. Cutting. Anthony Black, 6'9", see over. Everybody up, 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 and away. Oh, whoa. Council, are you on the elevator? Trampoline? Is it the headband? Goodness gracious.
That's 2 in the first half.
Mac McClung, I think you have met your match.
We need someone to go on someone's shoulders here at some point. Quindo, another aggressive attack. Ball still loose on the ground. Possession arrow now favors Arkansas, so it's a tie-up. Ball back to the Hogs.
You got to love the fact that Georgia's putting their head down, though, and getting to the basket. And Arkansas doing a good job of playing without fouling, going up vertically in the air, arms straight up, not coming down to put them at the line. But you got to apply pressure and hopefully put it on the officials.
So I know Council's got a couple of the highlight dunks. Anthony Black already has 6 assists.
Yes. But see, Kevin,
with
that's
5 to go in the first.
That's what you get when you add a guy like Nick Smith. Anthony Black wants to be a point guard, a pass-first guy.
Yep.
And he's now able to get out and give the rock up like this.
There you go. And so Smith is going to the line again. It's going back to our point. More firepower is just back in this lineup.
Yeah, a lot of times you're not questioning Georgia's heart or their intensity or their effort. Sometimes the war of attrition kicks in, and that's in Arkansas's favor right now because of all the talent that they have on the wing.
Again, so Smith misses 19 of the first 26, right knee issues. Now, he has been back for 4 straight games, and he started several in a row. You know, it was a little dubious there. I don't know if there were many clear-cut answers in December and for the month of January. Eric Musselman, what was it, around the new year, made it public that Smith was probably not going to rejoin the team at least through the end of the month. There were a whole bunch of rumors and theories. Is he going to come back or not? I mean, certainly a next level NBA talent likely next year. But Nick was public, made his first kind of public comments a couple of days ago on Arkansas's weekly radio show and said, listen, the plan was always to return. And I think there's something special brewing here with him in the rotation moving forward. Abdur-Rahim high off the glass, bumped into Black, and again, that's your point guard with that reach.
42.5-inch vertical is what he has, and that's reach and athleticism, everything right there as it gets wrapped up by Abdur-Rahim.
Yeah, there's a foul. Council draws it. The 16th foul on Georgia. Arkansas has opened up a 20-point lead in Fayetteville.
Gatorade Fit. Fitness.
Dari and my friends, the Pats. Here, 2 early games, thrillers. We will show them both to you. This one may not necessarily come down to the final minute. Hogs are rolling.
Hogs are rolling. 11 early assists. in this game so far.
Big time. Slay, you mentioned Arkansas's length being effective tonight. How does that make the game difficult for Georgia?
Pat, I tell you what, I appreciate that question, and the length is something that you've talked about quite a bit. How's it making it difficult for Georgia? Because of one, Georgia doesn't have guys to be able to match that length. I mean, it's getting as simple as that.
Yeah.
You look at a guy like Pat Young right there sitting next to you, Pat, and he can tell you, if you're 6'9", 6'10", and you don't have the athletic ability to match it as far as jumping, you better have a 6'11" guy down there to try to contend in the paint, and they just don't have that.
Yeah, and you know, you knew that maybe coming into this one, Georgia would need to play, you know, up an above average performance, hit some early shots, get some confidence going, and that hasn't happened just yet. Hey, still have a whole 20-plus minutes in the second half. Hey, going back to Patrick's, the other Pat, I got the Patrick's confused there.
P.Y.
But, you know, yeah, Pat Young just said it. 11 of your 17 made baskets have been assisted on. So just the unselfishness, the ball movement.
Right. And that's chemistry. That's chemistry, and it grows throughout the season, but it only grows with experience. You can't teach that in practice. You have to have game experience. That's why it's important for Nick Smith to get acclimated before going into this tournament.
Council watch that one go down and pop out. And when you're whole.
Yeah, exactly.
Where is he? Number 5. Or excuse me, number 3 in the white.
Yep. Absolutely. Now you see Shooter was asking about how does this make the length a problem from Georgia? Because you're 6'9" outside of Debo all the way across the board right now. You're switching 1 through 4. So, I mean, it's different.
Boy, Georgia, that time, Moncrief loses it, and ball back to the Hogs. So Georgia has only made 6 shots, and they've turned it over 6 times. You want to know how many times Arkansas has given it away? 0 with 3:11 to go.
You can get anywhere in the world and play and keep it under 9 turnovers and have an opportunity.
Splash, another one. That's now 7 assists for Black as well. Council starting to heat up. He's got 12. Another giveaway, a near one that is. Moncrief, excellent effort. Tried to find someone. Instead, he found Council's arms. Lob it up. Graham couldn't secure it. Davis was looking for him out of bounds. Ball back to the Bulldogs. Yeah, this looks like just a rattled Georgia team right now.
This looks like an Arkansas team that needs to be playing with a seatbelt because they are flying up and down the court and all in the air. Georgia doing a great job, man. It's just like he talked about. We talked about the length, and it's not block shots. That's not what's deterring them from going to the basket. It's the range that they were able to play with. Just getting a hand up on a shot like that, and then your 2 guard is the rebound.
Here's Smith, eyes up. The pass deflected by Roberts. Council pounces on it. Up off the window, out of bounds.
Tough right there, putting the ball on the rim. That's the way you cut down on turnovers as well. When you get stuck, just put it on the rim. You got athletes that'll go up there and jump and try to get the offensive rebound. That's better than having a difficult pass you're trying to make and someone shooting a gap and going the other way. So that's another way to keep those turnovers down. But I will say this, with Anthony Black being able to play facilitator, that bodes well for his game. He loves that part of his game. Yeah, we know he can score, but facilitating at that size, that's trouble.
Yeah, he's unequivocally just one of the best freshmen in the country. Another turnover. And Arkansas has got a chance to extend its lead. Another scoring drought for the Dogs. They have not hit a field goal in 3.5 minutes.
This is when it helps if you're Georgia to be able to have shooters in that can loosen up that paint because it's so packed in right now. You penetrate and get past your man. There's another Razorbacks defender sitting right there waiting on you to help.
Inside of 2 minutes, Arkansas just red hot on both ends of the floor. And this has been a competitive Georgia team largely this year. However, just a challenging start to this game.
And that was a good job defensively by Georgia. They packed the paint in also, daring Arkansas to shoot threes. Bridges has to have an impact on this game.
Now he turns, goes up with the right hand, banks it in.
They're really good. Didn't bring a double team. Nobody dig down on him that time. So he was able to take his time. 1 dribble, 2 dribble, bump, spin where the help wasn't coming. Nice shot off the glass.
Yeah, the make allows you to just slow the Hogs down, too. Working some shot clock. 1 minute to go in the first. Arkansas on the heels of a very convincing win against Florida, pick it up right where it left off on Saturday. Council, they have been baiting him into taking that three. This one left short. Bridges with the board.
Good job defensively. Now you got to come down and convert. I love to see him go back to Bridges.
Roberts, the change of speed underneath. Whole bunch of flailing arms out to Jalen Ingram. 4-3.
There you go. That's how you contest. That's how you get back in this game. Get a stop defensively, come down, get a good solid shot on the offensive end. Roberts able to get into the paint and attract 2-3 defenders for Arkansas. Kick out, just got to be able to make them.
Shot clock is off inside of 20 seconds.
Let's see, high pick and roll right here. Anthony Black going down towards the basket, making a decision.
Here's Black, picks up the dribble. Now Council, 5 seconds. Between the legs, the pull-up, long two, puts it in. Arkansas ends the half on an exclamation point. Boy, it got up by double digits quickly and held a large lead for much of this first half. They shoot 59% from the floor.
Scorching.
Whoa.
Scorching.
Let's go to the studio now. Dari, go ahead.
All right, Kevin, thank you much. 20-point lead for the Razorbacks. Maybe saw this one coming after Missouri, Columbia. They've lost their last 2. Tough opposition. Mississippi State comes in looking for a 6th straight win. End of regulation. Kobe Brown had it, smoked it, and somehow missed it. We go to overtime. That's okay because he has honor. Nick Honor. Bang. Got it. Had not hit a 3 in regulation. Had just 4 points in the first 40 minutes. And then Honor one more time. When you're feeling it, you're feeling it, folks.
Again, got the switch. The big man, Tolu Smith, on him. Was able to step back, hit that 3.
Mizzou snaps their 2-game skid. Snaps Mississippi State's 5-game winning streak. They win it 66-64. Let's start with this game. Because Missouri's an 80-point-a-game team. Missouri wants to do this. And we've seen them be uncomfortable when teams don't let them. And A&M did not let, or Mississippi State did not let them. 57 points in regulation, yet they find a way to win in overtime. What does that mean going forward, facing opposition that may make it uncomfortable for them down the road?
Well, I think that's a good sign because they were able to play at a slower pace than normally they are used to. And a lot of that still, though, they get up in the open floor. That last play, there was a perfect example of how they're able to find the mismatch quick. They got the switch because they can play 5 guys, Patrick, outside the 3-point line. 5 guys who can pass, dribble, shoot. That's why they're so difficult to guard in the half court.
Well, I think Missouri did still play pretty characteristic to how they normally do. A lot of shots just weren't falling. Early on for Mississippi State and Missouri, I guess you would almost say it was, as the great Joe Klein said earlier, that it was almost just like fantasy land that the 3-point ball was falling for State, because in the second half, both teams were just struggling to find something there. But it came down to grit. The teams that wanted to get to the free throw line. Missouri did a fantastic job on Tolu Smith. What a sneaky double-double that he had tonight. It was so difficult for him to get the ball. He found a way.
That Missouri defense is so quick, and they were able to just hold off those passing lanes to Tolu Smith just long enough to force them to take some tough 3-point shots.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on what Joe Lunardi says as the night goes on, too. Mississippi State was his last 4 in. Missouri was a 9. It's certainly not going to hurt Missouri. Will it hurt?
No.
Mississippi State, probably not.
It's an overtime loss on the road.
It shouldn't.
Right,
it should not impact Mississippi State. Okay. How about A&M and Tennessee? Tennessee continues to slide, but let's look at A&M. All night long, this was a 3, 4, 5-point game, yet A&M in the end able to get away with a win. How?
Well, it was so interesting. This game started off, A&M has had a tendency of starting pretty slow offensively, and the only guys getting things going were Julius Marble and Wade Taylor. But what A&M was able to do was win the turnover battle. They scored just barely 5 more points than Tennessee in that turnover battle, but also getting to the free throw line. I think Tennessee couldn't find a way to be more efficient at the three-point line. I think that's ultimately what hurt them, but Julius Marble was unstoppable.
You said his name, Wade Taylor IV, decision-making. Most important thing in basketball, good decision makers.
Marble and Taylor, by the way, had 46 of A&M's 68 points. A little showtime at the Bud, thanks to Ricky Council. It's all Razorbacks. Is the player of the week. Set a career-high 36 points to go along with 20 rebounds in a win against Ole Miss. By the way, that's the fourth game this season of at least 20 points and 20 rebounds. So Reese is your player of the week. Your freshman of the week comes from Missouri. It is Ashton Judd, who scored a career-high 17 in a win over Mississippi State. Was a perfect 3 for 3 from 3. And in Missouri's last 5 games, she's gone for double digits in 4 of those. Also had a couple of big steals against the Bulldogs as well. So Ashton Judd, your freshman of the week, and Angel Reese is your SEC player of the week. Nick Smith Jr. How does that make you feel, Pat Bradley?
Well, it's good. He's got that offense rolling. He's quick, aggressive.
He's quick, he says. He's quick, he says. He's quick. He's got it rolling.
Paul Sunderland.
Paul Sunderland. In Baton Rouge, as the Tigers try to snap a 14-game skid. Vandy comes in red hot. They've won 5 in a row. It'll be followed by a trip to the Plains for Auburn and Ole Miss. All right. We talked before this game, well, maybe halftime of the last game, actually, about Arkansas. Okay, don't overlook Georgia, right? You know you've got Alabama. You know you've got Tennessee. You know you've got Kentucky. Those are your last 3 games, all tough. They didn't. What does it mean? Like, what's it tell you that they came out as strong as they have come out?
It means that their mindset is where it needs to be, buttoned up, understanding that you need this last push in the season that's going to probably ultimately determine how you end up matching up in the NCAA tournament. There was a little bit of slippage there, turning the ball over, but Arkansas is looking fantastic right now.
They got to stick to the script. 24 points in the paint. Georgia's going to try to force them to shoot threes, keep them out of that lane. Right now, they're 3 of 9 from the three-point line. So I would say if they continue to attack the hoop, that's how the Hogs are going to take care of business.
When this game is over, full half-hour SEC now, getting you caught up on this game and those 2 really, really, really good ones. Big wins for Missouri and for Texas A&M. Look at Jalen Graham just sending dogs to the ground.
That's how you attack the hoop.
That is how you do it. Second half's now.
Arkansas just roaring tonight. After 20 minutes, they're up 20 over Georgia inside Bud Walton Arena with Ron Slay, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. I mean, listen, it's been pretty simple. Arkansas has been as fresh as DJ Derek's playlist inside Bud Walton Arena.
Really, really, really great analogy right there. Like, it's that smooth, too. And the transition going from defense to offense is just like the DJ. It's jamming. And I tell you what, Ricky Council is a guy, man, that doesn't have to settle. And speak of jam, going to the basket is none better, except maybe his teammate. Another guy that's not having to settle for the 3, get to his 14 and 15 mid-range and knock it down. But this right here, that 3-point shooting, if that's added to the Hogs game, it's a different type of team.
Arkansas made as many shots, almost made as many shots as Georgia took. 19 field goals made, 59% shooting from the floor. And at this point, 7 different Hogs have scored. You see Nick Smith's numbers, 8 points on 3 of 7 shooting. Now Anthony Black, he's got 7 assists. He's 1 shy of what would tie a season high in assists for the freshman.
Yeah, and that's who he wants to be, a facilitator. And when you throw
there he is.
DJ, he's a guy that's a facilitator just like Anthony Black. He facilitates to the crowd about feeling good. What's it like to feel good? Watch what I do. Uh-oh. I feel it vibrating in here. Okay, DJ Derek.
I'm not kidding. That guy is really good.
No.
I don't think I've ever bobbed my head to Michael McDonald, was it?
Yeah, that's him.
Before my
what a
life.
Fool believes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's more of a groove, not a head bobbing song, but he'll make you do that. This is what you want to see more of if you're Georgia. Bridges getting involved.
Turning, trying to go up with the left. Makai Mitchell again influences and affects the shot. And Arkansas so quick into the front court.
And you're seeing a lot of that defensively, not blocking shots this length from Arkansas. The Mitchell brothers, coupled with a guy like Graham, making it difficult.
There's your point guard, just posting up Roberts.
So what do? What's your answer? You know, you got a guy 6'9", you tell him the front, then they throw it over the top, and you get somebody going towards the basket.
Roberts chucks it. Offensive board down to Abdur Rahim. That's good.
Got to get a lot more of that if you're Georgia. You want to play reckless abandon going to the offensive rebounds. That's the only opportunity you're going to have. Try to create second shots for yourself.
They don't have much to lose. Again, down 20. Georgia team that's won 2 out of 3, though wounded after the lopsided loss on Saturday to Alabama. Now Smith into the paint, lobs it up. A little too far for Mitchell, out to Walsh. Now he wants to get into the scoring column. Batting around, Mitchell almost kept it alive for a second possession.
And a guy like Jordan Walsh is a guy who really didn't play a lot in that first half, but that's what the opportunities you have if you're the coach. You can save a guy like him for reserve. That's a guy that could be taken in the first round coming up.
Black rises. Good defense by Bridges that time. Got his hands up. Abdur Rahim draws the whistle. 2 free throws on the way.
Really good job by Georgia, pushing pace, getting back, collapsing in the paint, rebounding, and guys getting out and run. How did Georgia stay in it early? By getting to the foul line. Here's a great example of it. Oquendo unselfish. Abdur Rahim, just like his pops, getting right there and shooting over a guy, getting contact and getting to the foul line to get easy too.
Pops 18 years in the NBA, gold medal, 18 points a game for his career.
Yeah, you talk about versatility. His father was, he was one that I watched, man, for many, many years.
Well, and everybody knows Sharif, and then you got to give the shout out to brother Jabri's uncle, Amir.
Yeah.
He's the head coach at Kennesaw State. They are on top of the ASUN this year.
Yeah, doing really, really well.
He was on staff at Georgia a few years back.
Yes, he was. It's just in your blood sometimes, Kevin.
Genetics there. Walsh 4-3.
So you talk about outside shooting. How can you improve this team? Do that. Be able to knock down the open shot, because you're going to get a lot of open shots because guys want to pack the paint.
Roberts underneath the head fake, got Mitchell to bite. Bridges couldn't stick it back.
Yes, those are the ones. Those are the ones. Those are self-inflicted problems when you miss opportunities.
Smith from the mid-range, he does like that shot, and he gets the foul. He's going to the line for a pair.
Yeah, between 14 and 17 feet, that's where he wants to operate. That's exactly what we talked about leading into it, not settling for a 3. And you think with his athleticism, and he's really excellent, not good, excellent at getting to the basket and finishing, but that pull-up catches you off guard. Raise up and finish, man.
Well, that leap, too. It's not only the springs, but then the length that we've already alluded to.
Yeah.
The freshman from Jacksonville, Arkansas, about 3 hours down the road from outside of Little Rock. Again, he comes in with all of the hype, all of the expectations. You can make the case he's one of the most hyped freshmen in program history outside of the aforementioned Corliss Williams that you brought up before.
Yep. And that's a lot of expectations and hype to live up to. But when you come in with 3 other All-Americans, it kind of make it easy to kind of fill in. Take some of that pressure off of him.
Which is what we've seen at times. He's trying to remain in the rotation the rest of the way with a healthy right knee. So this is the prospect projections according to ESPN.com. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of talent here on this floor.
I mean, quite a bit.
This is their rating for potentially June's draft. Walsh spins into the paint, falling away. It was off balance, but that one just fell right into Mitchell's arms. Now Walsh rises back up, banks it in, and he's got another.
That's the length. That's the length. You got to really create space when you box out. If you're Georgia right here, you got to create space. Walsh making himself available to his teammate. You can't turn sideways if you're Ingram. You got to go straight up, and if you turn sideways, that's going to be an automatic foul on you, and it doesn't help that you're in the charge circle.
Arkansas with a 26-point advantage, so this is its largest lead in any SEC game this year. Yeah. And it has escalated to this point quickly. So they were up big in the first, early in the first, and it's been a double-digit lead for the majority of this game.
And I have to keep mentioning, Georgia is running their sets well. They're getting the shots that they want at the basket. You're just missing some of those shots, and those are the shots you need to stay in games like this, because you get that. You got a guy like Oquendo that can make plays. So the easy ones, you got to convert to give him an opportunity. If you need to get over the hump, make plays to get you over the hump.
Now Black, another lob. Mitchell collects, bounces out. Smith for three. Another one.
That's a hockey assist right there from Anthony Black, and even better assist from Mitchell, being patient and coming down.
Yeah, this is just one of Arkansas's smoothest offensive performances, you can argue, of the year. Again, this is a Georgia team very competitive this year. In some ways physically overmatched. Oh, the no look, saucy pass to Mitchell. He was begging for a foul. Walsh got that whistle a few moments ago, and instead we come back the other way. Walsh whistled for the blocking foul.
And a lot of times, Kevin, when you're a big and you see that ball lobbed up in the air, you think alley-oop, you think dunk automatically. No, come down, catch it, find your partner, a guy like Nick Smith, bang, bang, bang.
His second year on Eric Musselman's staff, 8 years in the NBA, but first he was a star, an all-SEC stud here at Arkansas. Many remember Ronnie. They remember his father, Ron, as well, part of the triplets here at Arkansas. We caught up with Ronnie about his history with this university.
Your dad, his career, your career here, this place, what does it represent to you?
It means everything to me. I grew up here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I went to Fayetteville High School, and being from the state of Arkansas, what it means to be an Arkansas Razorback, it means the world. We don't have a professional team in any sport, so this is the mountaintop to me and the rest of the state. So, be able to come here and represent the state of Arkansas, all the people, and so many great people that wore the Razorback uniform before us. I took pride in wearing it, and for my dad to play here as well, it meant a lot to try to follow his footsteps.
How important is it to you, being back on staff, being a Razorback, to be able to connect and be a bridge for a gap for these next generations coming along, teaching them the history and being able to have the foundation laid?
Well, to me, it really doesn't feel like a job. It just feels like a mentorship program, like what I would do as an alumni anyway, right, to these young guys.
Yeah, so there you go. His father helped lead Arkansas to a Final Four in 1978. And yeah, it's great. It's great to see Ronnie back here. And again, the family affair in a sense in Arkansas.
And that's the importance of every program in the SEC, to be able to kind of have a guy that you can reach back to, and have them on staff is huge. It goes without saying, man. If you can have this younger generation come in and be able to relate to a guy that's on your bench, then you got to work with that, man, and that leads to great things in the program.
Mitchell had two dogs up in the air, draws the foul.
History is important. History is really important, Kevin, and you got a guy like Ronnie Brewer who not only knows his and the 90s, but reaches all the way back and can ask his father for history, and he grew up right here. So it's nothing like that pride.
Yep.
It's different than just putting that jersey on. It really means something, especially for Arkansas kids.
Yeah, this is home. Played high school right down the road. Oh my gosh, Mitchell just shed Oquendo, and then the flush. Nearly a 30-point lead.
It's a big fella just going and attacking the rim, put the ball up high. Shooter again asked about that length. That's where the length comes into play. Just put the ball up higher than everybody else, and you come up with it. Coach Musk can't believe that call.
Yeah, Eric disagrees with it. Colorful shoes and all. I think he knows it. Yeah, he always comes well prepared with the, and in this case, the Black History Month sneakers, the Nikes. Yeah, but it's great. It's also nice to have a guy on the bench who played 8 years of the NBA. Eastern Conference Finals with the Chicago Bulls. He had 2 great years, Ronnie Brewer did. He looks back fondly on that time with a very competitive Chicago team.
Yeah.
Remember Carlos Boozer, Thibodeau, Derrick Rose, that era?
Yeah. Like they almost invented the bench mob. That was the team.
That's
my
right.
fellow partner of mine, C.J. Watson, was a part of that team. Great SEC guard from Tennessee. He played with that bunch. So, and they were tied at the hip, man.
Yes.
Really good group. The supporting cast for those starters with Chicago.
Moncrief draws the foul. He's going to the line. I want to say, if I recall correctly, that Bulls team was actually the 1 seed. Now, they ran into, take my talents to South Beach, the first year of the LeBron, Bosh, Wade experience. Yeah. Ultimately lost that conference finals in 5 games, and
that was tough.
You know, the Rose injury afterward, kind of everything unravels after that.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. But, man, it was so fun for that 3-4 year period to watch those guys grow together, Tibbs being able to pour into them and them be able to transfer all of that to the court and to transfer into wins.
And that's just something that is a staple of Eric Musselman's coaching staff. So you've got a guy like Keith Smart.
Right.
We all remember the shot he hit Indiana, but he has been a head coach and an assistant at the NBA level for decades. Earl Boykins was on this staff several years ago.
You know what? The reason that's important, because it's always respect with coaches. But when you can relate them to players and they can go on Google and look you up, as you see a guy that may be playing at that level very, very soon.
Yeah, what jersey is he wearing next year?
Exactly. It's easy to get your message across to those guys because you listen with a different type of attendant. Look at Devo hustling.
Yeah, Davis sliding on the floor, although he gets whistled for the personal, sweeping Roberts out from underneath.
But you accept that all day long. That hustle right there, that's okay. A game like this, 29 up, loose ball on the floor, who wants it more? I don't care about us being 29. Devo setting the tone. As defense goes, Devo goes, so you know who the tone setter is for this team.
Arkansas nearly doubling up Georgia. And they just haven't cooled off the Hogs. They're 6 of 10 from the floor in this second half and limiting Georgia to 33% shooting.
Now this is also going to be another Bridges. This is you want to see aggressive play. You live with that.
Mitchell whistled for the personal. Thought he got the clean block, instead his second.
You live with that. If you're Coach Mike White, this is what you want to see out of Bridges. They know you want to go left hand. They're not going to cut it off. You go there, and you go and get the contact and try to finish. Try to finish through the guy. Don't avoid him. Got to be careful of that. But good job right there. You accept that if you're Coach Musselman or Coach White. You know what's going to be interesting in this, Kevin?
Go ahead.
Anthony Black is out now. So you talk about getting Nick Smith acclimated as he looks to Coach Musselman to get directions. He's at the point now. So now you move him from the 2 to a facilitator spot. Can he get guys involved like Anthony Black was, or does he look for his shot? More zone.
Yeah, Georgia goes back to the zone. Council's at the free throw line on the interior. Now does Smith look? Cross-court feed to Davis. Back up top to Council. Smith sets the feet, lets it go, down and out.
He had his hands ready. When that ball got skipped to Devo, he was dying for it to get back away.
Confident drive that time by Justin Hill. He draws the personal.
Yeah.
And so Hill is at the line for 2.
And let me say something about Justin Hill. He's a guy that you can see his maturity coming along. You watch him in shoot around, you watch him in practices. Very vocal, a vocal leader that's coming into a role. This is his first year with the team, so it's new to him. He has to get used to guys, but as a leader, you can't take a step back when you're looking to lead. You got to bring other guys with you, and you're not going to be the favorite a lot of times when you're the leader. He's settling into that with guys that are alpha males in Roberts and Oquendo. So it's interesting to see the next steps that Georgia take with him being the lead guard.
Yeah, again, can he be that tone setter?
There you go.
You know, and he's really ignited of late. So Roberts, remember, goes out a couple of weeks ago with that concussion. He misses 2 games, and that was right around the time Hill really started to spark. 5 straight games in double figures, plus the assist numbers have risen.
That's right.
So he's a transfer from Longwood, was in the NCAA tournament with that club. Oh, there goes Council again. It's just non-stop. Cleared for takeoff again.
I mean, at this point, it's almost like which jet do you want to take when you take off? You want to take a Nick Smith jet, a Ricky Council jet? Anthony Black can do it himself.
Ooh. That's twice Council's been the beneficiary of the lob tonight. Roberts on the turnaround, yes.
And that's something that he brings to this game. Sometimes the ball sticks a little bit, but Roberts, you got to trust him if you're the coach to make good plays, savvy plays. Not the biggest or the most athletic, but has a knack for scoring, especially getting in the paint.
Oh, man, up to Anthony Black this time. Now it's they're just trying to raise the bar.
I saw it coming, Kevin. I tried to hold my breath and couldn't. Look at this. This is, when you got a guy like that, you just throw it up. It doesn't have to be near the rim. Just throw it somewhere in the vicinity of the backboard. And he's going to come down with it.
You caught many a alley-oop. Did you ever dish one off? You ever you ever?
I would throw one every now and then. Yeah, I would throw one every now and then. Well, I had some guys in my day, man, that were pretty athletic when I was playing at the University of Tennessee. Vincent Yarbrough, Marcus Hayslip, all these guys could really go get it. Isaiah Victor, a lot of them, man. So, yeah, I had an opportunity, especially against zone.
Yeah, speaking of that time, Black is at the line. He's got the 8 points and a season-high tying 8 assists. So you're entering the league right as Mike White was exiting the league. That's Georgia's head coach.
That's right. That's right.
So he has been in this building a time or two. So we were talking with him pregame because, yeah, you know, I played in the SEC when we played in this building every year. It wasn't, you know, maybe you get them once a year and it's only at home, not at road. So he won twice in this building when he was a player at Ole Miss. Sophomore and senior years. There he is. There's Mike going back. 95 to 99, 4-year starter at Ole Miss.
And look at the form right there. A little bit of a slide trying to hustle and get back in front of the defender. Got his chest on him, a lot of contact. I think they're letting it go back then.
Yes.
So it's okay. Sure, he played without fouling in that situation.
So he's growing up. The story goes, you know, Mike is growing up in. He bounced around a little while. Of course, his father, the longtime athletic director, Kevin. So he's the AD at Tulane. His dad is. They're down in New Orleans, and Ole Miss not far away. They start recruiting him, and you know he got a chance to go play at Oxford and be a starting point guard immediately. 3 NCAA tournaments later, and he left quite a career.
Big time. And that was the thing about it, man. When eras overlap, you love to see it because when you're removed from college, regardless if you go and play pro, you kind of stay intact with what's going on as far as 3 years removed. You kind of know what the guys are doing in the past and the guys that are currently there. So Mike White knows me. I know Mike White. I kept up with him and Ansu Cisse down there at Ole Miss. They had a nice team, man.
That was a great era of Ole Miss basketball. It
really was.
6-7 years. Chaotic sequence. Arkansas's got it on this end. Graham rises nearly the throwdown, and he's going to the line. I don't know, man. Listen, we've seen a lot of those type of plays. Mac McClung might not have anything on this guy.
Oh, no.
Fourth. We've had about 4 highlight slams. How about the reverse on this instance of the beneficiary of the lob?
Oh, it's always the go-to. Then I go finish it anywhere above the rim. But, Kevin, you said he's been doing this all year, right?
He's got quite a highlight reel, by the way. This one is several months back against Troy. Oh, my gosh, vicious.
Oh!
What you make of these?
Oh,
This one. Woo!
This stuff right here, man. And then this to cap it off. That's just blowing the candle out on the cake right there. Anytime you're dunking and you're not touching the rim, you are an athlete. I mean, a real jumper. And it's one thing to be a jumper, Kevin. It's one thing to be a game-time jumper. Rick, I think, is an all-around jumper. I think he jumps out of the bed when he gets up. He's probably just jumping. Man, he's exciting to watch, man. I'll tell you that.
I think that A&M, reverse slam, that's got to be my favorite of the bunch.
You know which one I like? I like the one when he was the first one we saw when he was coming down the lane because he took it back so far. It was almost like, why would you do that?
Just savage.
Yeah, that's great word. Great word for it. Every bit of savage, Kevin. Goodness gracious, man. I would try to throw it where he couldn't catch it to really make him go and get it.
Right.
I know guys used to do that with Vince Carter a lot of times. Ed Cota, you watch them play those great North Carolina teams. Throw it up there and just see if he can't catch it. And then he comes down with it anyway.
Needs more of a challenge.
Yeah, that's all.
So
I'm sure he's up for it.
Counsell from that way, Durham, North Carolina. The 2 years at Wichita State, now his first at Arkansas. Meanwhile, Jalen Graham converts at the line. And again, this is just another example of Arkansas hitting on, a big player in that transfer portal.
Yep, it is. Must have been finding guys that fit his system. Guys that can dribble, shoot, keep the floor space, and attack the rim. He's got one in Counsell. And he plays both sides of the court as well.
Yeah, Muss and everybody really complimentary of his defensive ability as well.
Yep.
Anselm draws the foul, so he's going to the line. You think about the last couple of years, though. A couple of recent examples were here this weekend, NBA All-Star break. Stanley Amude, again, transfer portal, ends up being an integral part of last year's run of the Elite Eight. Justin Smith,
right,
transfer from Indiana, he comes over. J.D. Note.
JD could really play. I love this game, man. Love J.D. Note.
Best dunker when you played, who was it? How about even overseas? I'm curious some of the studs you ran into during your playing career.
Man, there's so many.
Savviest dunker.
Savviest dunker that you just got to watch out for. I'll tell you what, man. He started his career at Florida, University of Florida. James White was.
Oh, yeah.
Flight White was one that you need to be careful where you are on the runway. When he's coming down. He was one for sure. High school, I played at Oak Hill Academy for the great coach Steve Smith.
Yeah.
We had John Humphrey, helicopter. He was on the N1 tour quite a bit.
A whistle because Roberts is down in the backcourt. He's hobbling to the bench. Yeah, clearly favoring the right ankle.
That's tough. You hate to see him just not coming back. Georgia knowing they're going to need him going into the SEC tournament. Hope he's okay. Agonizing in pain right now. See the competitor.
Oh, yeah. Right foot. Those are just always painful.
Yeah. And it's nothing you can do about it. It's just in the way. Just in the way.
Anselm is trying to back down Black. But instead the foul. No, it is on Anthony Black. So he's whistled for the personal. Did he do the pull the chair out? Was that what that looked like?
It looked like he pulled the chair. Now that's one thing about Anthony Black. Anthony Black is a young player, but savvy, man.
Yeah.
Savvy. Like you would expect him as a young guy to really use his athleticism a lot. He doesn't. He more uses his height and his body, which is playing at angles. He gets switched off in a guy on the post. You think you need help, and right here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
He tried that reach around.
Yeah. He might have got away with one. That's one you can talk about in the film room.
Instead, Anselm, the Syracuse transfer, converts at the line.
Georgia trying to slowly grind their way back into this game, and it's going to have to come on this defensive end, slowing these guys down.
Yeah, there's 10:15 to go. They were down 29,
Right.
so back to 21. Again, you need quite a magical return. Nick Smith, though, another three. And then there's a foul underneath. That's whistled against Abdur Rahim.
It's a big-time shot, man, being able to hit on all cylinders like that. One thing about it, Walsh and Abdur Rahim got tangled up. But you put Abdur Rahim in that situation. Why? Because you're not standing and watching. Walsh saw the shot going up, and he went straight downhill to go get to the rebound, but someone had to box him out. So without that, you don't pick up that extra possession right here.
Boy, lob up this time to Graham and hit the rim, and then there's a foul underneath. That's on Marjorie McBride.
Sylvia Walsh, you can run on out, but instead he's down there tangling. He's tangling with this guy. Tangling with Abdur Rahim, and then he gets caught inside, and you don't stop fighting. Continue to fight. Put it on the ref to make the call. If you say play on, you play on, and you're fine with it.
Boy, so this could be, right as we were alluding to Georgia shrinking the deficit, this could be maybe a 5-point possession,
Yep.
technically speaking. Jalen Graham at the line. He's got 7 today. The Phoenix native, 3 years at Arizona State, was a starter there, transfers. Okay, the role is shrunken a little bit here,
Right.
comes off the bench about 10 minutes a game. However, of late, he has capitalized against his matchups.
And you got to love a guy like that that comes in and accepts his role, not disgruntled or anything, just making the most of his time, and you see that a lot.
Here's Hill, the step back three. Anselm with the offensive board. So a new 20 as we pass the midway mark in the second half. This has been a one-sided affair.
Yes, it has.
Pretty much from the jump. Georgia led for a couple of minutes. There's a foul inside. Well, about a minute or so early in the first. Arkansas went ahead, had a double-digit lead very quickly, and is led by as many as 29. Hill going to the free throw line.
You see Hill taking a page out of Oquendo's book, getting down towards the basket, putting pressure on the guys, using his pump fake. That's what you got to use when you got guys that really love to use their athletic ability, jumping out of the gym. Show them the ball once or twice. Once they get up in the air, don't shy away from the contact, but barrel through their chest, and hopefully you get the call and you get to the free throw line to shoot 2 free shots. You know, this is a good time for Georgia to test their character. You come off a game like you did against Alabama. This game could be slipping away from you. And are you willing to fight, or do you concede it and say, we just get to the next game? You got to love that. And Coach Mike White putting a foundation on this team that we're going to fight night in and night out. That's a tough call. That's a tough call. But that's what we just talked about on this end. Counsell not shying away from the contact, barreling through his chest, put it on the official to make the call. It's so easy nowadays, Kevin, to fold.
Yes.
You know, and say, because it's so many games, you know, you talk about the culture of so many games played. A lot of people like to point at the grassroots and tournaments and AU, where you always going to be guaranteed another game to play. That kind of trickles over into the college game, and you don't want that in your program. You want guys to go out there and fight day in, day out, practice games, regardless of what the score is, play how we want to play. And that's about the culture in Coach White's first year at Georgia, building that.
Ingram from deep, not that time. And I think a lot of coaches sometimes take a look at the second half box score or just score in general.
Yep.
And they may see, hey, can we keep it even? Can we outscore this team in the second half?
Right. Right.
Now, I'm sure those head coaches will be frustrated about a number of things maybe that happened in that first half. However, you can measure, to your point, just the effort level in the second half of a lopsided game.
Yeah, so in games like this, when the score gets away, you want to look for small wins. And a win for them is they're not turning the ball over like they were. They only have 4 turnovers in this half so far. They're getting shots on the rim. You're getting the shots that you want. You're running your offense. You're patient. Always setting good screens, as you see a double screen here. Then what do you get?
Oquendo lost it. Council, look out, he's dangerous here. The spin, oh, it's a goaltend. Council now with 19 tonight.
So many high flyers on one play. From the defender, as you see Council right here, coming down here, Walsh running the wing, spin, get it up. Oquendo, I'm above the rim, and then you see the play didn't count, but Jalen Graham comes in and finishes too. Everybody's above the rim except me and Kevin today.
Oh, man, you just don't want to see him put another one through the net.
Right.
19, 8 of 15 shooting for Council. Knocked out by Arkansas, and Georgia keeps it on this end, underneath inbounds underneath the hoop.
Really good offensive set there. You got a two-man game with Hill and Bridges. Dropped it off to him, but active hands by Arkansas because of the length. Makes it difficult for him to get that shot.
Bridges hops into the paint, collects, and scores. So his second field goal. And Bridges with 8. Plus the 8 rebounds as well.
Yeah, he's always got to be a guy that's consistent. The thing is, can he get the ball enough with the style that they play? Because you got a three-headed monster in your guards, Oquendo, Roberts, and Hill. It's kind of difficult to just focus in on getting the ball to Bridges, but he's efficient when he does.
Black with 2 to shoot, hoists it up, book it. Anthony Black, creative now with 11 points.
That's good defense. The shot clock ran all the way down. That's just, I'm bigger than you. I just get over, get to my spot and shoot it.
Hill goes up, no whistle, and back come the Hogs. They're just a well-oiled machine tonight, although Graham lost it. Here's Oquendo to the hole.
Yeah.
The throwdown.
Business decision right there by Anthony Black, and smart decision. I will say, you're up this many points, give up 2, don't take a foul. You played the next day right there.
And he is the high flyer himself, Oquendo, now with 15.
I don't know who I like to see more in the open floor, him or Council.
Council buries another.
On cue. He must have heard us. Y'all talking about high flying like we can't shoot. I'll unload this three-pointer out here.
Boy, they shot 59% from the floor in the first half. Better in the second. They're 65%. 11 out of 17 from the floor. Yeah, Council is just everywhere. Leaves it off for Davis. Walsh. Oh, he's fouled. Look, this game, you've had to keep your head on a swivel. Arkansas going left and right. Ron's had to keep his head on a swivel for more reasons than one. More on that next. Back inside Bud Walton Arena, 6:44 to go. It has been all Arkansas with a large lead over Georgia. So I'm here with Ron Slay, who's returned back to BWA, a place he grew up watching. He was inspired by great teams of the 90s. First game back, and they're trying to pelt you with. Look, this just looked like a T-shirt that was coming at you.
Hey, man.
Like right here.
No. That's not no T-shirt, man.
That looked like a soft T-shirt. What happened here?
That looked like a soft ball right there to me. That's what that looked like. That's a softball team, Kevin. Why would they be throwing T-shirts? I'm not going to dodge a T-shirt. I'll take a T-shirt to the head any day. A softball, I got to dodge, man. Head on the swivel.
Life was on the line. So you come to town this weekend showering. I mean, you grew up watching this team, this arena. I mean, it's inspired you as a basketball player. You show up and they start trying to peg you with softballs, evidently.
Kevin, I don't know if it was.
Did you throw a few monster jams down in here back in the day?
No, I tell you what now, putting on the show in here, that was my forte. I will say that. I grew up watching it, so I couldn't wait to play in this environment. This is a great atmosphere, too. But Ricky Council, Oquendo, Walsh, all these guys, Anthony Black, they work on keeping their head on the swivel, not hitting their head on the rim. I'm worried about hitting the head with a softball. Yeah. I don't want the cartoon knots on my head while we're doing this game. I'm just saying.
Lawsuits are going to be filed inside this building tonight. Boy, this performance from Arkansas tonight, they have overwhelmed their opposition. I think on both ends of the floor. Council contested the Abdur-Rahim 3. However, he buries it right in front of Council.
Good answer right there. But you see the activity with their hands. Everybody's hands are on the ball when penetration comes from Georgia. You got to continue to be able to close that lane down.
Boy, Smith, well, in the paint, kind of that one-legged runner is part of his repertoire. Look, we've seen this Arkansas team. We know how it scouts. We know the attention to detail that we see pre-game, shoot-around, practices. You know the skill and the next-level talent on the roster. I mean, with a healthy Nick Smith back, it just clearly takes this thing to another level for this team, no?
Yes, it does. And to be able to make all of this mesh, regardless of the talent you have, but newcomers, guys that are transfers, guys that honestly have the right and an opportunity to look ahead and say, I'm going to play at the next level, to keep them grounded and keep them buying into what you want to do. You gotta praise Musselman for that right there, because it is a task. It's a task at any level.
Smith, bucket for 3. Okay. Boy, it's been buckets for him from deep. 4 out of 7 now from downtown. He and Council, 7 out of 13. I thought they couldn't hit from deep.
I did too, but I tell you what, they must have heard. So let me tell you this, Mr. Smith, I understand what you are doing. You did not want to get your feet wet in this game. You just dove straight off the platform dive and went and got it. Council with a block.
Council, yeah, he gets a piece of that one. Now it's Smith. Oh, he's feeling it. Heat check.
Stop. Stop, Nick Smith. Now, he's figured it out. You talk about integrate yourself into a team, and you talk about your team, look at the fine desire. Talk about this man may not want to play. He may not want to come back. I beg to differ.
He's got 5 of them tonight, Ron.
Fill it up, Smith. And then give him the high step. Give him a touch of the 3.
Starting to see them maybe start to surge again. Latter half of SEC play after the 1-5 start like we've seen the last couple of years. You know, right now, they'd be the 7th seed in the SEC tournament in a couple of weeks. However, take a peek what's on the horizon. You have to go to Alabama, unequivocally the best team in the league, at Tennessee, home against Kentucky. I just have a feeling that this rematch against Alabama might be a little more competitive. And, you know, and that first game back in January was close just until Alabama pulled away in the latter stretches of that second half.
Right, and they had Alabama in a sense where they wanted them. Devo just kind of, he had the responsibility of guarding a guy like Brandon Miller and just lost him on 2 plays, and that's all it took. Brandon Miller was able to separate the game, hitting 2 big-time threes, but going forward, Tennessee will be in desperation mode. Alabama loved the test. I mean, it doesn't get any easier, and then you end with a rematch with Kentucky coming here. You got your work cut out for you if you're Arkansas.
And you can continue just to develop the chemistry of the rotation with Smith back in the starting lineup. Quindo at the line with a Georgia high 18 points. You know, maybe just to tie a bow on the conversation surrounding Smith, next level player, someone who, again, while he has been here, has been very engaged. He did leave the team for a little while, was out in Los Angeles trying to get, you know, the knee right, was visiting specialists. And look, he missed 19 of Arkansas's first 26 games. I think the fan base certainly was getting a bit restless about his return. Would he, will he, should he, this, that, and the other. And look, right now you have a very healthy Nick Smith that maybe could lead you to one of those, see those Final Four banners we have up there. I mean, this roster is skilled enough where maybe you could get there. So, you know, a lot of folks that maybe took exception to the extended time off. You got a healthy Nick Smith out there. That's what's most important.
Without question. And you want to protect the player at all times. And you wonder why. Was he going to try to dunk that? But you wonder why the fans grew restless about the entire situation because of what we're seeing on display. Now, you know exactly what he can bring to the game when healthy and playing at a high level. It's a separator. It is a separator. And you say all of that, and you talk about leading them to a Final Four, it could happen.
Yeah, I think, did you hear the "We Want Nick" chant?
Oh.
Actually, I believe that's what that was.
They want him back? Do they want
They
more?
already gave him the ovation.
Are you not entertained? You're not entertained. Yeah, but I think you hit it on the head with everything you said, Kevin. Still want to take games like this, being able to play high competitive teams, well-coached teams to get you ready for going down the stretch run of the tourneys, both tourneys, SEC tournament and NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's wild to think we're 2 weeks away from Nashville.
Yeah, it's come very quick.
Georgia, meanwhile, finishes against Mizzou and Florida at home. Again, that's a Florida team without Colin Castleton the rest of the way. Boy, just a killer that is. Abdur-Rahim is heated up in this second half, so he is shooting the ball well. And he's got 9 points. And then at South Carolina to close out the year. So opportunities for Georgia to rebound at home.
Yep.
And against a South Carolina team that has fought hard this year, has struggled at times in league play.
And they're a team with new guys getting together. When you're talking about Georgia, they can take advantage as well. Like, nothing is over and done with as Oquendo is prepared for takeoff.
Yeah, taking off again.
Yeah. Like, so you want to continue to build if you're Mike White. You get back in practice, you'll have a rest day, and then you get back to the grind, watch some film, get back out there in the gym, and then you look ahead and you see exactly what you can get going into the SEC tournament to build momentum, to take on anything that comes in ahead of you. You want to build on that. This is culture building for them.
Darian Ford finds Pinion. Bullseye.
Well, we know Pinion can flat out shoot it. That's a fact of life. He feels pretty good in each corner that he's shooting from.
Maybe they were saying we want Cade and Lawson. It's Lawson Blake and Cade Arbogast. By the way, Arkansas Ron has hit 11 threes. That's a season high.
Yeah.
They're 11 out of 20. Again, they don't normally take or make this many. Fling it deep. Here's Oquendo. He's got his third 20-point game of the year. He's right on the nose with 20. Moncrief battling, barging, rebound to Darian Ford. And now we will hear the encouragement from the fans to find the lesser-known players. Lawson Blake is getting up with the little attitude after Moncrief looked like gave him a little hip check. Now there's a little side-eye there from Lawson Blake.
Yeah, and this right here is on the road. You just had a difficult loss against Alabama. Now you're in Arkansas. You're on the road. Crowd is getting very, very loud and restless. You're trying to set the tone. You don't want to be taken advantage of. A little push right there. It's okay. You got to keep your head in these situations, though. Like I said earlier, this is character building, as the official talks on. A little bit of selling in that. A little bit of selling in that.
Look, here's what's on the line. Lawson Blake hasn't scored this year, so this is a chance for his first points. No.
Lawson, you can't let the crowd down like that.
Yeah, the first one was not very close. The second spun down and out there. Arkansas by 32, led by as many as 34. And they were up double digits for the large majority of this game.
That's right.
Abdur-Rahim, a deep three that time, left it short.
Arkansas just came in waves in this game. Georgia came out with a really good game plan, missed a lot of bunnies earlier, and then the turnovers took place. And
okay, he's got his basket. Lawson flexing on him.
Is Lawson flexing? Is Lawson flexing? Show your gun, Lawson. Put that gun back up, Lawson. Don't you pull that gun out here. You love to see that for these guys, man. These are guys that work really, really hard to make guys like Nick Smith, Ricky Council, Anthony Black, Walsh, all these guys better. They are the ones that prepare. Go through scout teams, you love to see them get rewarded as they are.
Fayetteville's finest, and in style completes a three-point play. Was that a setup?
I think it was a setup.
Dog those two free throws and comes away the hero.
Yeah.
Look, how about this? something that's not obvious that you learned about Arkansas tonight?
Something that is not obvious. Oh,
there's Hill.
I'll search for that one.
Yeah.
Let me search for that one. How much time we got?
Arkansas has scored 99 in each of its last 2 wins against Georgia. 97 tonight.
Oh, wow. That's
so
tough.
3rd straight.
That's a comfort zone.
Yeah, 90.